and they were buffing Reaper to counter goats multiple times. I remember reading this and being like, back in 2019, be like, guys, we're screwed, guys. We're screwed. These guys are morons. These three characters were like instantly broken. Instantly. It took zero thought to instantly start abusing it immediately. Because I wasn't like a very high ranked player at all the time. And also some of these characters, like it's weird. Like the way I look at this right now is for some of these, I was like an average like plat and D. Some of these, I wasn't even playing the game. And also some of these, I was like a coach, which definitely influenced my decisions a little bit because I felt like I had a pretty good understanding of the game. But because I wasn't playing ranked enough, I didn't know like how well these characters felt, you know? So I do feel like this one might be actually kind of tricky to do. I mean, obviously it's impossible to be perfectly objective with this. I'm putting moisturizer. Dude, my hands are so dry. But yeah. But we could take a look here. Now, I'm going to need y'all's help for these, please. So, Bastion. I mean, this has to be here, right? It has to be here, right? Because that was when he had the ridiculous damage duration back in like 2016. I was not playing at the time, but I know about it. It was ugly. No? So bad so that, yeah. This one as well has to be here. Has to be here, unquestionably. Still probably the most broken character in Overwatch history in terms of not just the peak, but of how long she was broken. And her impact in the meta has yet to be matched in the history of Overwatch. Cassidy, was this what she had when he had like, this was like late, like early release, right? Didn't he have like something crazy where like he did like a ridiculous amount of damage or had no fall off or something? This is a really, really old one. I'm quite certain of it. Full damage for right click. Yes, that was it. Now, I also remember points in time where he was actually here later on. I think like 2019, they giga buffed his right click. But yeah, I think for the time, this was before my time, but I do remember him being here. I don't know. Okay, maybe I can't quite remember. I feel like this might be a bit of an overreaction. I remember he was very strong, and obviously the one shot was broken, but I don't think he was Bastion, Brig, Fan the Hammer strong. Why is Brig not in her own tier? Because the Bastion one was 100%, and the Cassidy one, from what I hear, was 100% as bad. I think Doomfist was like really strong in release, but I don't think he's this tier. I think at his strongest, he was like really, really broken early on, like here. Even in Overwatch 2, he wasn't that crazy. Like he was really strong when he had slam on slow. I think he was probably strongest in Overwatch 2 in alpha. When his power punch was like super strong, his slam had a slow, and he had his old slam too. But I don't think he was the highest tier, right? He was ridiculously strong, but I don't think he was like super strong. And I also think that Queen probably belongs in this tier too for the same reason. She was definitely meta defining. She was really, 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 really strong. Now it's funny though, because he puts her here, but unless he remembers, this guy must be like either really smart or really stupid, because Queen has never been anywhere close to here in the live state of the game. Even when they initially buffed her sustained, she was not here. She was here. But on release in beta, she was 100%. Well, no, again, she was still here. Junkerqueen would have won. Junkerqueen didn't need Jotes to work in ranked. The whole point is that Junkerqueen was so strong that she created Jotes. That's the problem. She created Jotes. Like her shout was so strong. Like it gave so much HP. Yeah, it must be talking about Jotes, maybe. Because if so, that's actually, he's 100% right here. But I still wouldn't put her here. You know, I'd put her one below. Where she was meta defining, but not as strong as Release Brig. Okay. Kiriko. Oh gosh, Kiriko is tough. Was Kiriko as strong as Brig Bastion? Chat, I don't know. Maybe it's close. It's really close. It's definitely meta defining and probably deserves, I feel like I want to make my own tier list now. Maybe I should just make my own tier list. I'm going to use this tier list as inspiration because it's reminding me of things. But I'm going to make my own tier list. This is a great content idea. I think this is super fun. Okay, so Bastion, Cassidy, probably. I think I'm going to be honest with you. Because I wasn't here, I really can't say. And then we said Kiriko. I'm gonna do the spicy thing and put Kiriko here. Oh, Doomfist, right? Doomfist. Sniper cast and also the Van the Hammer. Early Overwatch 1. Early Overwatch 1. Okay, what about D.Va, y'all? Didn't D.Va have like more armor? Didn't she have like a ridiculous amount of HP and armor in early Overwatch 1 as well? I'm fairly certain. Maybe, Matt, maybe. Well, Captain Ravage was also fan the hammer, did full damage. And this was an Overwatch 1 tank, so you could literally just fan the hammer and kill a tank. Like right there, it's just they're done. And this was with, this was, from what I know, it was like unbelievably impressive. You couldn't pick anything else. You guys are forgetting early Overwatch 1. Dude, I swear, didn't she have like a ridiculous amount of HP in early in Overwatch 1? Like way back, way back. Y'all, maybe I'll put Junkerqueen here, but y'all are capping if Junkerqueen. Junkerqueen was not as strong. She definitely defined the meta, but she was not as strong, like so strong that was like, this really was like, because this was so strong, it's like, bro, who play tested this? But am I not, you guys keep going, okay, really early she was like this, but was there a time where that was an issue? So maybe then just broken then. Okay, thank you, Sifric. Somebody like actually answering the question. First year, yeah. Genji, early Overwatch 2, quite strong. The 8-second blade, right? 8-second blade, ledge dash. Was it 29 or 30 damage shurikens? No, she wasn't Sayaro. She was broken, but I think it was like broken really. So what do you guys think? Here? Yeah, Artifice, I think so. Down one? Maybe. Yellow tier? Okay. Maybe. Yeah, maybe that's at Placid. I don't remember. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Hanzo. Definitely. You guys are already wrong. You guys aren't even thinking about scatter. I'm talking about power level. Do you guys remember early Overwatch 1 Hanzo rework? You guys are focusing on scatter? Bro, You forget hit scan Hanzo arrows. You forget early lunge, which was an even lower cooldown. You forgot storm arrow, which did what? 80 damage per bullet and had like 7 bullets. And you could damage boost a dragon. So you could out DPS trance. When they first introduced Storm Arrow, the character was unbelievable. He was unbelievable. Now, he wasn't actually a hit scan, but his projectile speed was faster. And Storm Arrow was way stronger than it is right now. There were more bullets, and they did more damage. And I think the cooldown was lower too. And he also had a lower cooldown on lunge. He could damage boost dragon. He would destroy any tank. It was impossible to play. It was miserable. He was like, imagine if Torb overload, but with more damage on Hanzo. It was miserable. It was miserable. You guys are concerned about scatter? The scatter was definitely the stupidest thing that they had in the game. But in terms of the most powerful, the rework Hanzo was ridiculous. And so much so that I actually put him in front of these two. Doggy, thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. But yeah, that Hanzo was ridiculous. That Hanzo was actually ridiculous. So broken right now. It was so strong that this is when Goats was like ridiculously OP. Hanzo was so strong that in ranked, people didn't even play Goats. They just played Hanzo because he was actually really good. You could just grab Dragon. And he could just, and if you weren't like an actually good team, like you could even go Goats. I'm torn between these two. So Junkrat had a really fast tire, which I think had a larger blast radius. I don't remember. There's so many things that have happened to Junkrat. The biggest broken thing was like the tire was super fast and his concussive mines had 0 fall off. So if you got hit by the mine, you got hit with a full 120 damage. So you could literally 2-tap anybody. Like it didn't require 0 mechanics at all. And I also think the projectile size was bigger too.
Oh boy.
Yo, Herlo, thanks for the raid.
This is a trash.
I appreciate it, mate. We're just talking about your character, bro. We're talking about Bastion. We're talking about like the most broken state that any character has ever been in Overwatch history. No, I don't think so, Matt. It was like 2017. It was early Overwatch League. Basically, let's put it this way, guys. Like, obviously, Overwatch League wasn't like nearly as polished as it is now, but he was literally like had a really high pick rate in Overwatch League, if I remember correctly, season 1. Like people were picking Junkrat in Overwatch League. Like that's kind of a red flag, you know? Yeah. I what do you guys think? Doomfist level or OP? What do you guys think? I don't know. Maybe here? I mean, I think Lifeweaver definitely goes down here immediately. Like right now he's at his peak right now, and it's like nothing special. He's annoying as all get out, but yeah. Top of yellow tier? Yeah, maybe that's a good way of putting it. Yeah. He was definitely peak Junkrat was stronger than like peak Genji or peak Diva, maybe. But yeah. Maybe not even, honestly. Because I think about it this way. What would you like better? Because here's what I have to think. I'm trying to find a balance between like pro and like casual. You know what I'm saying? Because it's hard to look at this and be like, Junkerqueen was really, 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 really strong. Because like honestly, like I don't think casual players would have exploited as much as she was. I think I'm trying to find like somewhere in between, you know? Because I think Genji was stronger at his peak for pro players than Junkrat, you know? And I think I'd rather have an 8-second blade, triple jump, you know, all that kind of stuff. But that's true, devices. Dang it, dude. This is hard. These tier lists are always hard. Maybe I should end. Here's what I'll do, chat, so we don't have that question anymore. Most broken state. There you go. We'll leave it for there. We'll leave it for there. Lucio? He built his beat faster. And he used to be able to boop tanks further. We're talking about Overwatch 1. We're talking about Overwatch 1 when he had the damage reduction was so strong for that week that they had to change it. Yeah, I think Lucio as an individual has probably been stronger than Lifeweaver, but I don't think he's ever been like in a wildly OP state. Yeah, see, I don't know about that. What was Overwatch 1 beta? Lucio beat used to decay so slow? Okay. I'm trying to focus more on like direct strength, you know, because even like the Junkerqueen shout, like obviously it was a meta shifter, but even without like her teammates, it was still good. Yeah, that's right. The aura was a lot bigger. Yo, that's right. That I knew I was forgetting something. The aura was bigger. Would goats be possible without Lucio? No, goats wouldn't have been possible without Lucio. Really, a lot of rush comps in general wouldn't be possible without Lucio. So I think, yeah, it's hard to say. Oh, okay. Makes sense. Okay, what do you guys think about May? I'm thinking probably 2019, late 2019 May, early 2020 May. Because that's when they kept buffing all the goofy tank buster characters in the hope that it would break goats, because no offense, the Overwatch 1 devs were morons. They had no idea like how to break goats. So they kept buffing May and Reaper, but May and Reaper just got turbo coasted by goats. But I think her freeze was really strong. Blizzard was really strong. Wall HP was way stronger. Wall used to have a lot more HP. So I definitely think she was OP. The freeze was broken. The walls were stronger. I don't know about early Overwatch 1, sadly. That's the only problem. And I've not heard anything about it either, as much as I've heard about the other characters. So I don't feel like I can give a good opinion. Maybe we go like here. Because I agree with Chalky Mill, because it's like hard to put value on May, because it did feel like there was a lot more value. It was wall HP for sure. I know for a fact wall HP was way more broken. Okay, let's just be honest, guys. The real question is where does Mercy stand? Like, honestly, maybe even higher than Brig. I feel like probably higher than Brig. Honestly. Because like Brig shifted the whole meta, but Mercy at that peak was just unbelievable. Unkillable. 4 reses in 20 seconds. 4 reses in 20 seconds. 4 reses, 0 risk in 20 seconds. Instant reses. Instant. 4. So I agree that Brig ruined the game for the longest, and that has definitely influenced my ranking a little bit, but four reses. And they were instantaneous. And she was moved way faster. She also healed for more. Yeah, I don't think that I can argue, like, because you guys, Brig was very strong, but people didn't know quite how to figure out how to use it yet, you know? Whereas these three characters were like instantly broken. Instantly. It took zero thought to instantly start abusing it immediately. So I think Brig is definitely at the top just because of how busted she was and how long she persisted as a thorn in the side of the community. But I think Mercy definitely belongs to be above because it was just instantly broken. And it ruined both pro play and ranked instantly. You guys forget in ranked, if you didn't pick Mercy, you had a significantly higher chance to lose. She was unbelievably broken in ranked, as well as pro play. Shouldn't Cass be above Brig? But I'm trying to like find this weird balance of like how long were they broken definitely influences the ranking as well. I don't know how to describe it. I guess maybe we should do like, yeah, maybe. That maybe you make a good argument. Res was instant cast. You could res, pop Valk, res again, and then Valk, and then res again. If I remember correctly, it was at least 3, if not 4 reses within about 20 seconds. Instant cast while moving faster with more healing. Yeah. Pharah. I don't know. I think Pharah is just a stupid character, but I can't remember a time when she was ever a must pick or was like. There's been times where she's been strong. I actually think like right now she's had some stuff. Ever met Highway? No. I mean, I freaking hate Pharah, but I just don't think she like. I mean, you could argue that Lucio's had higher peaks over Pharah. Wasn't she only using? Yeah, she was only using the triple DPS versus goats, and I think she might have gotten buffed a little bit, like maybe splash damage or something like that. But I don't. There's nothing that immediately comes to mind that was like, oh, that's super strong. What do you guys think about Reaper? Because I know Reaper got a lot of buffs around 2019, and he was quite strong for a little bit, but he had such serious limitations that honestly, I'll put him at the top of very strong, but I have a hard time justifying putting him higher. Because he was meta for a brief period of time, but I don't know that. Oh, that's right. But yeah, but right, because it wasn't even his fault that he was broken. Yeah, because he was as an individual strong there. They buffed him the counter goats. Guys, I just want you to stop for a second. I just want you to stop for 1 second. And remember, they kept buffing him to counter goats. These are professional developers that was buffing the Reaper guy into a comp with Lucio Boop, Discord, Brig Bash with a stun, Rhine Shield, Zarya Bubble, and Defense Matrix. And they were buffing Reaper to counter goats. Multiple times. They buffed the Brawl character into the Brawl. Like I remember reading this and being like, back in 2019, be like, guys, we're screwed, guys. We're screwed. These guys are morons. This is why you can't. This is why, as like, with all due respect to whatever rank the devs are at, you need outside perspectives, because if you need to understand your game, they did not understand their game at all. They did not understand their game at all. It was disastrous. Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. Okay. Yeah, I think Reaper probably very strong, but he never really had, like, TP was worse. Wraith was, I don't remember Wraith. Wraith was worse than it is right now. He was stronger in the meta and versus the matchups, but I've never found Reaper to be more than a very strong character, at least in comparison to some of these. I remember when they first gave the Wraith the capability to cancel and when it gave an auto reload. Maybe that was when he was stronger. I honestly don't remember. Now, Reinhardt, I think belongs up in here. And I'm not sure where, because you guys might remember when his swing damage first got buffed, and I think he got 50 extra armor, right? Was at the end of Overwatch 1? Definitely OP. And also in Overwatch 2, not too long ago, he had extra armor, and it was bugged armor. You guys may not remember this, but several months ago, they took away some of his HP. It was bugged armor. It had extra damage reduction. And so he was quite strong. I remember initial 85 damage swing. Also, they had the one-shot headshot for the shatter. But the bugged armor, maybe the strongest he's been. Not exactly a meta character, but he was very strong individually. And he also, even in Overwatch 1, they gave him 50 armor extra. But I think weakest of the OP characters, probably. Unless I'm forgetting another time with Ryan. Ha, true felon. That's actually a good point. They buff his hammer damage to help versus snipers, guys. Classic. Now, Roadhog, I don't know where to put. Because Overwatch 2 Roadhog around the late fall was definitely OP. More of an indirect thing than a direct thing. But I feel like he was probably, without factoring in the meta, just objectively stronger at points in Overwatch 1. That's what I'm saying. When we think about like Hook 1.0 and also his damage level back in, because I remember when I first started playing the game, Roadhog was really bad. But it was just he had just been hit by a nerf hammer when I started playing the game because he had been really broken. And I remember looking up clips and seeing like Roadhogs hooking Reinhardts and their HP just melts. Like he just does like 400 damage with one shot. So I actually think Roadhog might actually belong in here or at the top of Broken, Really Broken, because early Overwatch 1 Roadhog, before he got the nerf hammer, was really pretty bad. Like really strong. So what do you guys think? I mean, this one is really impossible to place because it was so long ago, but probably top of Broken, Really Broken, right? Or bottom of here. Yeah. Junk needs to go up. I'm having a hard time remembering. Maybe you're right about Junk. Maybe Junk needs to leapfrog Doomfist. That's my final offer. Because you're right. The double conk was really broken when it had no fall off. Hog Hook was ridiculous. His damage was ridiculous. And you could kill literally anything. Yeah, that's true devices, but I think those same arguments apply to the other characters that are above him too. When Junk was broken around 2017, he got 2 concussive mines. His riptire damage or speed got buffed by a lot, and his concussive mines had 0 fall off. So if you threw a mine, it did the full 120 damage. And his mines also did 120 damage, not 110 or whatever they do now. And also the projectile size was a little bit bigger. Soldier? I don't remember Overwatch 1, but honestly, pretty recently, Soldier was definitely OP. When they buffed his damage and they buffed his helix to 130, right? Was it 130, right? And then his heal station also, right? Like those are like 3 pretty significant buffs back to back to back, right? He was strong in the beta, but he might have even been objective. It might have been the meta. He might have been even stronger in the recent modes. The recent mode. Oh yeah, with the DPS passive. That's true. What was a DPS passive, y'all? It reload faster, right? %30 move speed on elimination. Maybe we bump him up to like here. I think we bump him up to there. I don't know, honestly. I feel like probably stronger than Ryan. I don't know about Peak Diva. That's good enough for now. Sem. Probably her Overwatch 1 rework. When she got her beam and her new wall. That was probably when she was at her strongest. Although she was not quite as flexible as she is now. She's a lot more flexible and dynamic now, which is in a way makes her stronger, but it removes her peaks, you know? Nah, you guys are coping. So Sim was annoying, but she was like really bad in a lot of situations. I remember when I played rank, and this is from Silver to Grandmaster, people cried when they got a Symmetra on their team. Nobody wanted to play with the Sim. Nobody. She was way easier back then and really stupid character, like super high like value floor, you know, like instant value. But like, nah, she was garbage in a lot of situations. There was ways to like abuse it. Yeah, Matt. You could get rally armor pack from Torb and shield generator on a Zenyatta and have like 450 HP. I think her early rework was probably objectively her strongest point. When she had like the beam ramp up and her wall, even though she wasn't played a lot, I think that's where she was the strongest. But you could also make an argument that like right now she might be at her strongest as well. But I think it's like the peaks of that were a little bit stronger. Torb. Am I smoking something, or was Torb pretty strong for initial rework? Like probably around here. Right? The overload. I think it was too strong. I can't remember, man. I can't remember Torb. Torb was also like Sem, like a really annoying but not very strong pre-rework. Yeah, his ultimate was Molten Core, which made him like give him like a ridiculous amount of armor and HP and made his level 3 turret, but he was a bad character. Yeah, 1 weekend during hero bans. Yeah. It was during hero bans, but I think that I don't think he was like, it was still pretty niche. I think here. I think it was the initial Overwatch 1 rework. If I remember correctly. I might be wrong, or at some point after the Overwatch rework. Okay, Tracer time. Oh man. gosh, I feel like early Overwatch 2 before they nerfed her damage. Early Overwatch 2 before they nerfed her damage. And this is an alpha or beta. But I don't think she's at, like, she had a really high pick rate, but that was more to do with like the character design being like really skill expressive. But yeah, it was like the fall off / high damage thing. You guys are talking about Pulse Home, and that was definitely broken, but I actually think like the damage thing was maybe even bigger. But yeah, I think not as big of an impact. So yeah. Widowmaker? Wasn't there something broken early in Overwatch 1? Am I misremembering? Like really early in Overwatch 1. Wait, quickscope? Did she legit have quickscoping? Save scoping charge. That would put her up here, no? Yeah, so I remember in 2017, her cooldown on her grapple was lower. So that made that allowed double sniper to be meta because you could avoid dives a lot easier, right? But I think probably the quickscoping thing was probably 150 damage body shot. So it was never on live though. But we're including beta. Maybe we can include beta. I don't know. Okay, so I think probably with what I'm hearing, probably worse than Hanzo. No? Like that seems reasonable to me. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe here. I don't know. I feel like this tier probably somewhere. Probably somewhere. Game was still new at that point. That's true. Maybe we throw her up here and just kind of see where it lies. Now, this one is going to be fun because I actually think it's here. I think the strongest Winston was probably early Overwatch 2 beta. Yeah. Because that's when his bubble had either 50 or 150 more. It might have been an 800 HP bubble. His bubble had, I think, 800 HP or 750 or something like that. And that's also when he had first gotten his right click too. Yeah, 800 HP. He had 800 HP bubble in beta, in alpha, and he just gotten the right click, right? So he was really strong. Maybe even up here strong. Not quite Lucio, but yeah. Why are you asking about release Sigma when you haven't even done Sigma? Yeah, we haven't even done Sigma, mate. Chill. So yeah, Winston was really strong, but I don't think he was wildly OP. Because it's kind of part of the situation where again, we're balancing between casual and pro, so. And even in the pro levels, Doom was also strong at the time. Diva was still played at points. Ryan was still played at points, right? So it was it was strong. Okay, Zarya. Probably early Overwatch 2 release or Overwatch 2 alpha. Right? Unless I'm forgetting something in Overwatch 1. Definitely Overwatch 2 to my mind. Alpha Overwatch 2 was really strong because that's when she got her double bubble and she had really slow decay rate on charge. And then release Overwatch 2 was still broken. I mean, the reason pros thought she was bad is she was really broken in alpha and then she got nerfed. But then I don't know. I don't remember if they buffed her or if casuals just found or other heroes got nerfed. But Overwatch 2 Alpha, like even before Alpha was released, when teams were practicing for Overwatch 2, Zarya was like the meta. Like you had to play Zarya. So probably here. No, they played Winston over Zarya after Zarya got nerfed. I'm almost 100% positive. This was like early alpha. Early alpha before Overwatch League even started. Before the first game of Overwatch League. This was in the scrims. Before, and then release Overwatch 2. Yeah, public never saw it. Yeah, it was essentially it was Ana, Lucio, Reaper. Oh gosh, was it Genji? I don't remember the other DPS. Was Zarya? Maybe Tracer? Yeah, because here's what it was, chat. Here's what it was. You could bubble on no cooldown. Somebody. So in other words, you could bubble somebody back to back, bam, bam, with 0 cooldown. So you could bubble a Reaper twice in a row and literally not be able to stop him from doing damage. You couldn't break the bubbles fast enough. They had to insert a cooldown on the bubbles, and that's kind of what killed it right there, because it gave counterplay, like you could force Wraith and stuff. So yeah, I think definitely OP. I remember that. I finally remember the solution to the problem there, because I remember at the time, like you could Death Blossom was actually busted in scrims because you couldn't stop it. Like you couldn't boop it, you couldn't sleep it, you couldn't break the bubble fast enough. So if he TP'd onto you and you'd bubble the TP, you just died. You would legit have to like speed amp and then like grab it. I remember going into fights where they had like nano Death Blossom, and it was like, oh, we literally are not going to be able to win this fight. There's literally no, and it wasn't even like, oh, you know, maybe he'll mess up a blade or no. There's like no mechanical expression either, and that was all Zarya. Yeah, you couldn't Suzu it, you couldn't do anything. So, yeah, Beyblade really did return in Overwatch 2 early alpha. Early alpha. It was basically the only composition played that I knew of. And then Mayhem, I remember, was scrimming that stuff back in like November, a year before Overwatch 2 went live. Yeah. Zenyatta? Honestly, I think here probably. Do you guys remember when this was? Either 50% Discord, yes. No, not even the right-click burst. Not even the right-click burst. No. It was a 225 HP. The 50% Discord for sure was a big one too. But you had the 225 HP. You guys, was that live? Did that go live? I can't remember. That wasn't live, was it? That was just beta, right? Or alpha. So he got his melee and 25 HP. That's when double flex support became a thing. That's when people started playing on a Zen, which was kind of funny because in a way that was actually, if we talk about like all the things that were toxic about the game, to Zen being 25 HP was actually like such a good thing for the game, in my opinion, because it actually like forced pros to start trying double flex support more often, like on a Zen. Like on a Zen was legit a troll comp in Overwatch 1. But they're like, bro, this character is so broken, like let's abuse it, right? And people found out that like support duos were actually like way more flexible than people thought. So it was like people like actually kind of like limit tested things a little bit, and it kind of broke a stigma around double flex support, which I think was really good. It was really good. It kind of like broke the stigma about double flex support. It was like a psychological like wall that was broken while Zen was broken. And I will say, when Zen had 25 HP or 25 HP, it was really frustrating. But it was a lot of the comps that it enabled were really fun. Let's see 75 or 50 HP Zen, where anything you Discord just dies, just dies. But yeah, it was definitely way too strong. It was way too strong. It was really broken. Like the 25 HP, like it's hard to describe like how much HP that felt like. It felt like there's so many break points it screwed up with. No, I honestly think the 225 HP Zenyatta was stronger than 8-second blade personally. Okay, Ana. What do you guys think about Ana? From what I hear, probably somewhere up here, right? On release, right? Don't cry about me about Overwatch 2. But with the 80 damage shot, with the speed boost on Nano, and you used to have more damage on Nade. Speed Nano and the 80 damage is the big one. Wait, it was 100% heal? Like you healed them the full? Oh, 100% heal increase. That's right. OG Ana basically defined a meta for over 2 years? Not really. I'm talking about the peak of the character. Yeah, the Nano didn't heal. That's right. It didn't heal early in release. Above Hog? No, I don't know. You weren't around, Matt. You weren't around. I remember watching. You could literally one-shot tanks with Roadhog. Literally one-shot tanks with Roadhog. And his hook had the hitbox of a Mack truck. I don't know, maybe. Okay. Interdimensional spaceship. Yeah, I don't know that. It's hard for me to be, again, objective about this because I don't remember how long these states lasted for all of them, to be honest with you guys. Okay, Sombra. Nah, the thing is, tech is you're doing the scatter arrow bait where you're like, this is stupid, that should never have happened. Which you're right, like hack, but Sombra still didn't have really that high of a pick rate. It was more of like a cheese strat. It was a cheese strat in a couple of maps, but outside of that, you just didn't really do it. You know, Anubis B, people would do it on Oasis City Center as well. But Sombra has been like a Sombra when she in Overwatch 2. Ah, crap. I'm trying to think here. Sombra with infinite stealth. Well, no. Man, it's so hard to read because she like swings in opposite directions. Sombra has been dancing around OP for a long time. Even in GOATs, right? Guys, EMP, how long did EMP last, guys? 5 seconds? 6 seconds? 5 seconds, right? Guys, it disabled your abilities for 6 seconds. 6 seconds you couldn't use your cooldowns or your ultimate or your shield. You didn't even have your passives. Like, what is that ability? What is that ability? Like, that is insane. But her gun was really not all that good, right? And she was pretty bad in duels. So she pretty much had to farm tanks, you know, and hack people was the only way. So, and then, you know, you go to Overwatch 2 and hack is a lot weaker, but her gun is a lot stronger. She gets her infinite stealth. So I think definitely OP. This one is going to be the hardest, I think, for me to play so far. I really don't know where I place her because she was really strong in the right hands, but the average player just could not do it. And this goes for both her Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2 state. You know? Release Kiri is far and away the most broken hero in Overwatch 2 history. I mean, yeah, look at our list. She's the highest Overwatch 2 character. So, yeah. The only one that comes even close is Junkerqueen in beta or alpha. I mean, is there anything that even comes close to Release Kiriko so far? Well, I guess we'll get there. Okay. All right, y'all are gonna be so mad at me. Y'all are gonna be so mad. Orisa is not definitely OP. Maybe we can argue into here, but she's just easy, bro. She's just easy. That's it. She's just easy. She's not been a meta definer outside of counterpicking Bastion. She's very strong and has been like off and on pretty strong. Oh, crap. Chat, I'm lying. Thank you, Matt, for reminding me. I'm an idiot. I see the Overwatch 2 Orisa and my brain turns off. You're actually wrong. She was. I forgot about Overwatch 1 Orisa. Now, she was. Oh, jeez. Shield was really strong. I forgot double shield. How did I forget double shield, y'all? Listen, shield was really strong. Everybody knew shield was really strong. Everyone was fortified was really strong. Bongo was one of the most boring ultimates in the entire game, but it had the highest win rate out of all of the ultimates used in that meta. If you could place it right. In addition to that, Pole, maybe not something that was used really well in lower ranks, but in the mid to higher ranks, Pole was the most powerful cooldown in the game besides maybe Lamp. Pole was what defined the matchups. The radius is what defined the matchups. And you could pull tanks just as much as you could pull supports. It comboed with everything. It countered dive by denying staging. It countered spam by, just pulling people out of position, pulling people over shields. In fact, there was a period of time where people called a meta called the ice fishing or pulled pork, people called it, right? Where it was basically like you would use Maywall to try and block their pull hook because pull hook was so broken. And she was also something that was equally broken in lower ranks as she was in higher ranks. She scaled really well. If you were good with your mechanics and good with your halt mechanics, you were really, really, really cooking. Pirate ship meta too. Yep. I think you honestly could probably put her even higher. I feel comfortable with where she's at here. She was really strong. And the other thing, too, is Orisa's one of those tanks that very quietly got buffed during GOATS meta. Because they thought of her as the spam tank that would break GOATS. So what ends up happening is then GOATS dies, and then now you have this monstrosity. And Orisa stayed meta, or soft meta, for a long time. She stayed good for a long time. She was very strong, very easy, very high skill ceiling, very low skill floor, very easy to pick up, very easy to execute with at a high level, very little downside with Orisa. And her peak was one of the highest a tank has ever achieved. Yeah, so I almost totally forgot. I was thinking about Overwatch 2 Orisa because I'm just a dum-dum. So, yeah, Moira, I think probably here. Her sustain, maybe a little bit further up, actually. Maybe around here. Sustain was a lot stronger. I think she farmed her Cole a lot faster as well. Maybe not a release Moira, but not too long afterwards. She was actually played in the double shield meta. She was definitely a beneficiary of the double shield meta's playstyle and be able to heal through shields, but she was also really just by herself very strong. Her Fade was not very good. Her Cole was very fast. Her healing sustain was also a lot stronger. But yeah, you could build Cole on like ridiculous. You would spam a damage orb, and I think you'd get like 12% ult charge. So you could build Cole was always their first fight. It was way faster than any other ultimate. Yeah, you could get Cole basically every fight. Yeah. Moira goats. I mean, she was pretty strong during that. I don't remember if that was the time, but yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think it was a little bit afterwards. Yeah, Cole was crazy. Ball? Probably here. There were at times in Overwatch 1. I can't put my maybe. Okay, was there not a time where like the mine detonation was like instantly? Ignore the double damage slam. I don't want to incorporate bugs, but the mines either would like detonated instantly. I feel like Ball was like really hard to play, but actually was like sleeper pretty strong in release. But Ball was just so freaking hard. That was a problem. Maybe like here, honestly. But he was definitely very strong. Definitely very strong. And he was meta for a little while too. Yeah. Moira versus Zen and Goats is kind of like a long story. Moira just didn't provide the utility. Moira was needed more for the raw sustain when you weren't playing a mirror. Ashe. Right? You could build Bob while Bob was active. Dynamite, I swear, had a lower cooldown. And she could one-shot with damage boost. She was pretty weak at release. I'm fairly certain she was not played very much at release. So maybe I'm misremembering something. But she did take some mechanical skill, and she wasn't really a big meta definer. I would not put her in an Orisa tier, personally. Dynamite is still damage boostable for a while. Bad news, buddy. You can still damage boost Dynamite. Sorry to break it to you. No, the only owl meta that I can remember, owl meta with Ashe, is the when they were double shield. Yeah. There was like Ashe Genji sometimes. And occasionally picked with Junkerqueen Goats. Occasionally. I think strong, but I don't think quite as strong as original release Genji. At her peak. What do you guys think? I don't think quite as strong as the immediate double bubble Zarya or the 5,000 trillion HP Mei wall instant freeze Mei. I think very strong, maybe more of a ranked terrorist than anything else. You know? But I've never thought back, oh, that was an Ashe meta, you know, like I can with Hanzo or Junkrat. Yeah. Okay, Bap. Man, this one's tough. Here, maybe? The problem with Bap is that he's just so unpopular, you know, because of the metas that he worked with. But I don't think he was like the only... He wasn't the reason that those metas work. He was a contributor, but he wasn't the reason... Like, Bap wasn't even played on release. Bap wasn't even played on release. People played Bap and Goats like once or twice. I even made a video on it. Lamp was really strong, but Window was smaller. at that point in time, and regenerative burst was also worse. He might be objectively strongest now, actually. You might be like, oh, but what about, but like Lamp is weaker than it used to be, but like everything about his kit is stronger now, honestly, outside of Lamp, right? Maybe his healing or damage has changed. His healing and damage, I'm sure, have changed, no? See, I don't even feel comfortable putting him above Junkrat, honestly. I'm thinking here. Shift was a lot worse in Overwatch 1. Regenerative Burst was a lot worse in Overwatch 1. And his lamp was also, or his window didn't get buffed until later. Lamp used to be 200 HP, right? So I don't know. It's hard for me because I think Baptiste is weaker in Overwatch 2 within the meta, but objectively is stronger as a character. Does that make sense? That's kind of how I feel about like Diva, to be honest with you guys. Maybe it's here. Yeah, we'll leave it here, but this one is I'm unsure on. Unsure. I think this has to be here. You know, I think this has to be maybe even here. Maybe I could dance around here. Now, I think we need to scale back our opinion of Sig a little bit. I don't think I'd put Sigma up here. Because it was the combination of these two, right, that made it oppressive, right? You have two basically nearly A or S tier broken tanks that worked in tandem, which is what made them oppressively worse. By himself, Sig was really strong. His shield was at 1600, chat? It was 1600, right? 1500. 1500? Accretion was really strong, and the longer it was in the air, it used to stun for longer. I believe he did more damage. You could one-shot combo, and you could instant shield. The cooldown on the shield was basically, there was just basically no cooldown. 1600, no cooldown. Couldn't cancel his ultimate. Oh yeah, that's right. Holy crap, you literally could not cancel his ultimate. That's right. And he did more damage too. And his accretion stun for longer. Was there something with his kinetic grasp as well? Or am I misremembering? Grasp used to tank hook. That's right. That's right. That's what I was thinking. I don't remember. But yeah, I mean, I think really, really strong. Maybe not quite as strong as Hanzo on initial rework, but ridiculous. Maybe as, honestly, it's really, I think when we get to this level, it's really, really hard to know which one's more broken. You know what I'm saying? Like you could probably put Sigma even up top here. Like I said, the only reason I'm not is because I do think that he benefited a lot from things like the Orisa, right? Like I think without Orisa, I think Sigma definitely becomes meta, but it takes a little bit more work, you know? But yeah. Yeah. Ridiculous character. Probably the strongest tank in Overwatch history, to be honest with you. Okay. Echo. Somewhere in here. To be honest with you guys. What would they have played with? Yeah, probably Ryan. Probably Ryan Sig. Something like that. She was super fast. I swear she did more damage. And you could generate ult faster, a lot faster than you do now. And when you copy tank at full HP. You copy tank at full HP. Yeah. So I believe she was a little bit faster. I think I don't know what her flight deal was. I definitely remember Echo being like one of those high skill characters on release that actually made an impact almost immediately because she was so strong. Like you look at a character like Ball, even Sigma, right? Relatively tricky-ish to pick up initially, but Echo was not quite as strong as them, but Echo definitely was picked up like almost immediately and played. Almost immediately played. And copying tank was just so strong. So strong. So I think, what do you guys think about her placement? Oh, and her beam did more damage too, right? Didn't her beam do more damage? Was it like 3? Is it? I swear there's something with the beam. There's something with the beam. What is it now? 250? 200? Longer and did more damage? Like I remember 175. I remember beam being like you literally, like we want to talk about like tanks melting, right? There's 2 DPS that come to mind almost immediately, besides Bastion, right? Because Bastion's just Bastion. Hanzo and Echo, almost instantly. And our initial Overwatch 1 Hanzo and initial Echo. Even really, not even initial Echo, just like later into Echo. Like Echo was crazy. Echo, both of those guys just had so much tank killing capability. I think it did 300. I might have not been 300, but I think her beam. Yeah. Anyway, so I think her placement seems reasonable. Sojourn. Oh, this one's tough. Probably here. She instantly had. She's like one of those characters. Maybe even here, honestly. Maybe even here. Maybe. Like you guys weren't here for this. This was an alpha. I remember. Oh gosh, guys. I remember playing an alpha. The first game I played with a bunch of content creators. I think I played with ML7 on Ilios. And I never played Sojourn before in my life. And I absolutely pounded. And this is where I was playing the game more, so my mechanics were like okay-ish, like low masters level. And I just was, and you know what? Actually, I lied, chat. I lied. This is going up. There's one thing that you guys weren't here for. Dude, her disruptor shot did 300 damage, not 200 damage on release. You hear me? She did 300 damage with her disruptor shot. It did not have a longer duration. It did 50% more DPS with slow. Yes. You would disruptor shot a squishy and they would die if they didn't react instantly. They just died. They couldn't get out fast enough before they died. I don't even remember what the DPS was. It was like 80 DPS. It was like think about like a stronger Sombra virus that was easier to land, and that did more damage total. And she one-shotted. It was like 200. She did like, was it like 270 damage on a headshot on rail? Maybe more. She built it faster. Her spread was tighter, and her slide was on at least 1 second cooldown lower. It might have been even 2 seconds lower cooldown. I mean, she basically was like one of those new characters that people didn't need to figure out. You just played her. Like she was just broken instantly. Like just instantly. She could keep her rail for longer, right? Yeah, I mean, everything about Sojourn was stronger. Her disruptor shot was way stronger. Her rail was way stronger. Her primary fire was way stronger. Her mobility was way stronger. Her ultimate was way stronger. Everything was stronger. You built rail also like instantly. Like I think your rail was like indiscriminate. Like railing a shield was like body shotting, basically, if I remember correctly, in terms of rail charge. So it was like really easy to build fast charge. And also the spread, if I remember correctly, was tighter too. So like you basically had rail off of cooldown almostly. The rail size might have been, yeah, the rail size was bigger. Yes, I forgot about that. They nerfed her rail size, I think twice. It was really easy. I remember it was like, dude, I felt like I was just unbelievable. Like I felt like I'm the main character playing her the first couple of times. And I wasn't even good. I just felt like I'm going to dominate everything. So I don't know. I think these are pretty interchangeable. Really, I think both were easily meta-defining instantly. Both were not really super mechanically demanding. Both instantly won every one shot that they could. Both destroyed tanks. I mean, it's really hard to say, to be honest with you. Maybe here. So he instantly went up when they gave him, because I remember being like, this character is trash. This character is trash. And then they gave him 20% movement speed and Nemesis. And then everything changed. Chomp. It was the sniper Cassidy with the full damage, including headshot and fan the hammer. And the forever ultimate as well. I think probably somewhere around here. But I don't think he was like unbelievably broken. I think he was like really, really powerful and just annoying. I think really, again, definitely needed nerfs, but probably not quite as strong as these guys. Probably not. Hard to say. Probably, guys. What do you guys think? So this is another one where we have to, this one was more broken behind the scenes. This was before she was released. She, if I remember correctly, right? Am I misremembering? Her pylon had more HP. Her pylon healed for more. And the ult slowed for longer. No, it was unreleased. Her ult slowed for longer. And the Sunstruck thing lasted for longer too. Also went through shields. That's true. Yep, good catch. Definitely broken. I think definitely broken. I think probably stronger than Baptiste. So it's everything that's annoying about Illari right now, but her pylon is a lot stronger. Her ult is also a lot stronger. Oh yeah, and her healing was stronger too. That's right, her secondary healing was a lot stronger. And I think the other thing to keep in mind is if we're considering like pro meta, she pretty much just like killed dive, like just killed it dead. So obviously that's not the only thing we're considering. It's just a part of things that we're considering it. But she just killed dive right there. Like Sombra trays are just dead. It's over. The damage, the pylon, yeah. I will say that I will say that, you know, my honeymoon phase with Illari is past. The more I play with or versus or as Illari, the less fun I have with her. She frustrates me. I don't enjoy playing her because her utility is super boring. I find her a weak character. I find the last two character releases to be, I don't think Illari is Lifeweaver level mess, but actually Lifeweaver has become more interesting for me, and Illari has become less interesting the more I've played her. It's kind of unfortunate after like Sojourn, Junkerqueen, Kiriko. I actually think the last 3 heroes have been misses, mostly misses. Ram as well, I think was a bit of a miss for me, a little bit dull. I don't know, but I don't want to go down that rabbit trail exactly. I think Kiriko, Junkerqueen, and Sojourn were like a lot more interesting as characters than the following 3. So I'm crossing my fingers on Maga or whatever. All right. Well, all right, chat. Here's what we'll do. We'll finish this with this. I want to hear your spiciest take about what's on our screen. What's your spiciest take? What did I get terribly wrong that you think that needs to be totally fixed? So let's just assume that this is like public opinion, even though it's not really, and just give me your spiciest take. Lucio above Ryan. Ooh, that is spicy. OG Brig is better than Moth. That's not that spicy. That's true. That's true. That's true. Also, Lucio above Ryan is probably not the most spicy thing either, to be fair. Orisa should be 1 up. Not that spicy, but fair. Initial release Brig was not OP. It was 100% a skill issue. They're very spicy. Tracer only belongs to a very strong tier. Or Brig Mercy belong to the low tier above Seriously. Makes sense. Ana should be above Hog. That's not that spicy. That's one jump. Ana above Widow. Pretty spicy. Pharah could be 1 tier higher if we count the week where almost all hit skins except Sombra were banned. Interesting. Zarya at least 2 tiers higher. People just couldn't play her properly at release. Ooh, okay. I would rather play against each of these characters in the most broken states than relive Moth meta. Fair enough. Why is Cass top tier? Initial release. We talked about Fan the Hammer doing full damage and doing headshots. Sniper, Cassidy. Yeah. Now, if that was not accurate, or I'm misremembering, or I'm mishearing, I would probably put Cass in really broken tier. Maybe somewhere around Tracer. Ball up a tier. There was an entire era ladder where boosted ball main was a thing. Wait, why can't I scroll here? Did Zen release have 150 HP yet? You didn't play Overwatch 1? Fair enough. Lifeweaver will get buffed again, be meta breaking in 6 months. Most broken Tracer was when she had it was early Overwatch 2 beta, if I remember correctly. When she had, before her damage got nerfed. Ridiculous tier for Bap. Bap's current state. Hog's hook, just the hook, should be bumped up 2 tiers. What's this tier? Oh, okay. This is the most broken state for each character. Ball should be broken. It was gate kept by skill. Notice how easy characters are always broken. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think there's some bias in here about skill definitely influences things. You know, when things feel a lot worse when everybody can do them. Right? When you don't have to aim as Hanzo and you just need to storm arrow the enemy tank and even just break the shield, right? That's frustrating, right? Like when Sojourn's rail is a lot bigger, it's easier to do things. So it's not an accident. When things are easier, the more people have to deal with the consequences. Now, if we were to look at like characters that were hard, but were actually broken in the right hands, maybe like the Widowmaker one, right? Where if that was an easier thing to abuse, then that would be, seriously, was this tested at all, for sure. Even something like Orisa, like the fact that Halt took a little bit of skill is what's preventing her from being ridiculous. You thought this was a good idea, in my opinion. And even something like Sigma spam being a little bit hard to aim. If Sigma was easier to do damage with, he'd be immediately jumping up a tier. Yeah, that's true, Chomp. That's immediately what I was thinking. It's like something that you never hear about, but like if it was the case right now, dude, people would be abusing that like insane right now, right? Insane.